This will hopefully be a short video. This is a scratch game inspired by the game Paratrooper that I used to play over 20 years ago, I think. I'll put a link to a video of that game in the description. This game is not complete. Maybe I'll do a second part if I work some more on it. It's fairly simple. I'll go through each of the sprites and what code I put for them. So how the game works is, as you can see here, there's a helicopter passing by. You can shoot at it and it drops paratroopers and you can shoot at them. I'll go through each of the sprites one by one. First is the helicopter. I got this picture from the internet and then I modified it a little bit. So you have one with the long blades of the rotor and a shorter one so that it gives the impression of rotation. For the code we have here, when the flag is clicked, the helicopter goes to the starting position. It points in the direction 90. Rotation style is left to right, and when it reaches the edge it bounces. So it changes costume between the ones I've shown you here, between these two. It changes costume every 0.2 seconds and it moves 20 steps each time. You can change this so that the helicopter goes off screen and appears again on the other side. You can change this to move however you want. At some point I was having problems with this. The helicopter kept going downwards. I don't know why, but eventually I got it to work. Again, we have another forever loop here. Originally I'd set this to every 3 seconds, but I decided to make it a bit more random. So between 2 to 5 seconds it creates a clone of the paratrooper. So that's why the paratroopers keep appearing every random number of seconds. Then this is something I added, but it's not, I mean, it's working, but it doesn't do much really. It's just a visual effect. If the bullet, I think there's a better word for the bullet, what comes from this anti-aircraft gun, when it touches the helicopter it changes its appearance. So you can change the effect and you can change it back if you want after 0.1 seconds. I put this time here so that you can see the change. Or if there's no time, if you don't put a weight, then the human eye may not see these effects taking place. So that's it for the helicopter. It basically goes back and forth, back and forth. Then, oh, my internet seems to have gone. We have the paratrooper. When the game starts, the paratrooper is hidden until the helicopter creates a clone of the paratrooper. So when the paratrooper starts as a clone, the paratrooper goes to the helicopter and becomes visible and switches costume to paratrooper closed. Again, I got these pictures from the internet and modified them slightly. Paratrooper closed is this one, where the paratrooper does not have the parachute. This is the other one where the paratrooper has a parachute. So at the beginning, when the paratrooper appears, he does not have the parachute, like this. So the parachute appears after some time. So the paratrooper appears without the parachute, then they start descending until they reach this color, or they reach the ground. So they descend, change Y by -3. When they reach position 99, when Y is position 99, then they switch costume to this other one, meaning the parachute appears. Now, something you need to note, that this figure here needs to be a multiple of this figure here. Originally I put, I think, 120 or something, or 150 here. The costume was not changing, but that is because if it's counting by multiples of 3, then when you have 100, then it will not reach 100 here. It will reach 102 and then jump to 99. So this will not execute. So this figure needs to be a multiple of this one. Remember that. So as the paratrooper is descending, if they touch the bullet, it changes color, changes appearance, just so that the player knows that the paratrooper has been hit, and then the paratrooper disappears. That clone disappears. So this is what it is. Descends, parachute appears. If you shoot, color changes and they disappear. If you don't shoot them, then they will come down until they reach the ground, and then the parachute disappears again. So that is what this part here does. This switch costume again to paratrooper closed. Now something else because of this costume change. When the paratrooper lands on the ground, originally, when they changed the costume, they ended up floating in the air. When the costume changed like this, the paratrooper without the parachute was floating here in the air. That is because of here. If we go here, you see that this is the center of the sprite. This is the center of the picture. It's above the paratrooper's head. But if we go here, the center of the picture is here in the chest or tummy of the paratrooper. So because of this difference, when the costume changed at the end of the code here, the paratrooper was seeming like they're standing in the air. So I changed the center for one of them, so that the paratrooper appears like they're standing on the ground. So again, if you encounter that problem, that is the reason. Anti-aircraft, again, another picture from the internet. This was actually a whole picture, but I split it into two so that I could be able to rotate the gun without rotating the entire thing. Now I can rotate the gun. Well, it's not very elegant, and I need to change it so that it only rotates up to a certain point, but it more or less works. The anti-aircraft, the base of the gun basically just goes to the starting position when the game starts. That's all. For this other part, it goes to where the base of the gun is. So it goes here. Then if you press the left arrow, if you press the arrow key, the gun rotates, as I've just shown you. You can change this to whatever you find more suitable. Of course, if you increase it, the gun will rotate more and it might be harder to aim. When you press space or whichever key you want, then it creates a clone of the bullet. So that's all. For this part, it just rotates. It goes to the anti-aircraft. When you press the key, it rotates. When you press space, it shoots a bullet, creates a clone of the bullet. The clone of the bullet, when the game starts, you hide it. When it starts as a clone, it goes to the anti-aircraft gun. It points in the same direction as the anti-aircraft gun. Now, this is created by dragging this pointing direction, and then you go here to sensing, and you choose this, which says backdrop of stage. Now, you will not find direction here by default. You need to select one of the sprites here. Then, direction appears. So you select this, put it in there, then you can put it there. So it points in the direction of the anti-aircraft gun. This is so that the bullet will move in where the gun was pointing. That's why you put this command here. Then it starts moving 20 steps. Then we show after it has moved, so that the bullet appears here at the end of the gun, not somewhere down here. That's why you put these steps before we put show. Then you repeat until it touches the helicopter, or touches the edge, or touches a paratrooper. So it will keep moving until it touches one of those. So it moves by 10 steps, so you can increase this if you want the gun to go faster, and so on. Then when it touches one of these three, either the edge, a paratrooper, or the helicopter, then it disappears, delete clone. So that's basically it. It's a pretty simple game. Well, right now it's just shooting the guns and shooting the paratroopers. Of course, there are things to add. You can make the helicopter explode or disappear if it gets shot. You need to add variables to keep track of score. And possibly, like in the original game, when 4 paratroopers landed on one side, they would move and destroy the gun. Maybe I'll do something like that, or if you find it too difficult, I'll simply allow, when a certain number of paratroopers land, then the game is over. Maybe I'll award points for hitting the helicopter and for hitting the paratroopers. But that's basically it. It's a pretty simple game. If you didn't know how to make a shooting game, then that's basically it. When you press a certain key, create a clone of your bullet or whatever is being shot. When the clone is created, it goes to whatever is shooting and points in the same direction and start moving, and you show it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, please subscribe. Have a good day.